So you've been wanting to get into the Panther platform, but with skyrocketing prices of these once $500 cars, you've opted to go with the more affordable Aero generation instead. Whether you just bought one or are considering getting one of the last truly affordable Panther cars, here are 6 things that I hate about my 1997 Mercury Grand Marquis. Also, keep in mind, these are issues that not only affect my Aero Mercury Grand Marquis, but also plagued the Aero Convicts of this generation as well. So the first thing I hate about this generation of Panther car, specifically these Mercuries, is the almost guaranteed power steering issues. Just like the second generation, the Bubble Crown Vics, were all guaranteed to essentially have transmission failures. This generation of Grand Marquis and Crown Victoria were notorious for having crappy power steering pumps. It wasn't a matter of if they were going to fail, but when they were going to fail. And as a matter of fact, before I even got to this location where I'm filming this video, I had to stop at AutoZone and literally put an entire bottle of power steering fluid just to make it out here. All right, number 2 on the list is the single exhaust. Yes, these cars came with not 2, but 1 exhaust. And at least if it would have been done correctly, you know, but look at this. Oh God, I just took a freaking mouthful of carbon monoxide. But if you take a look, look how low that exhaust, look how low that muffler sits. That's a stock factory muffler. And it really is just 1 exhaust, as you guys can see. Not only does it rob the car of horsepower, because a true dual exhaust system will actually give you about another 10 horsepower gain, sometimes even more depending on the setup that you go with. It also looks absolutely hideous. It sounds like crap. I'll actually give you a few revs so you can hear what it sounds like. But the worst part, look how low this thing sits. Look at this. I'm serious. You're driving down the road, all you see is this damn old school ass exhaust just hanging off the back. There isn't many videos of a proper exhaust done on one of these cars, and some nice quality audio taken of before and after, and maybe even some butt dyno first impressions. So that is one thing that I will be doing another video on. We're gonna get rid of that crappy old school grandma silent quiet single exhaust, and we're gonna go true duals, and we're gonna get a proper setup. But while we're at it, I might as well give you guys a little rev and get a little before shot of what this thing sounds like before I actually get the exhaust on it. So here we go. Let's rev this old grandma boat and see what she sounds like before her plastic surgery. Oh my God, what the hell is this? Blown head gasket? Who knows? I was surprised to hear there was a couple of pops in that little thing, but regardless, we're getting that exhaust addressed immediately. All right, the third thing I hate about the Aero generation of Panther car is that there is no tachometer, or like my Cuban ass used to say, and I shit you not, this is exactly how I used to say it up until my mid-20s. I used to say tachometer, a tachometer. So yes, this thing has no tachometer. Again, it's old school. This is a cruising car. This is your grandma's car. This is a Grandma Keith. And if you give it some revs, we'll go push out some of that more blown head gasket exhaust juice. You see, as I rev it, nothing goes up. All you have is just your damn speedometer. This wasn't a sports car. It was never meant to be one, so they never put a tachometer on it. The fourth thing I hate about the Aero, Grand Marquis, and Crown Victoria is that they absolutely came with an open diff. Now, unlike the Bubble Crown Vic, the second generation, those things were a mixed bag of goods. Sometimes you get 355 gears, sometimes you get an LSD, and sometimes you get an open diff. Well, it's guaranteed. It is as certain as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Is that how it goes, or is it sets in the west? And anyways, these cars came with an open diff, which means that they are a one-wheel peel wonder. You're not going to impress any of your friends at the takeovers or when you're sliding or any of that. Actually, they do slide pretty good. but you're only going to see smoke coming out of one tire. It'll still break traction, it'll still spin out, but personally I don't think it looks as cool to see only one tire spinning. It just doesn't look right. It looks like you're underpowered, and so for that reason I hate these cars come with a damn open diff. Now another thing that is going to be an absolute failure that I already hate from this car is that your window regulators are made out of plastic. They're made out of Chinese firecrackers. I don't know what the hell these things are made out of, but essentially you're gonna have to either replace all of them. In this case, this one took a dump, that one took a dump. So what I had to do, I had to dismantle this whole door panel on each side, and it's being held on by vice grips because ain't nobody gonna be riding in the back of this thing anyways besides me. And for that reason, I don't really need to be lowering down my back windows, and I'm not going to even deal with the issue. But your window regulators will take a dump on you, and check this out. Then you have this issue right here. Watch the fitment on this window as I put it up. Here we go. Check this out, guys. Look at that. Look at that perfect Ford fitment right there. This is old school. A lot of these devices were literally borrowed from cars from the late 70s and 80s. We're still kind of experimenting with this more modernized platform. Remember, the Panther platform goes back to like the late 70s if you really want to get technical. Everything was a square all the way up until the 90s, the Aero model, which is this. So now I gotta wait until I get home so somebody can put that window down and I can hold this up and bring it, slide it forward, because yeah, it's gonna stay like that the whole ride home. The number 6 thing that I hate about the Aero generation of Crown Victoria, hell, this actually applies all the way up until 2002 model year, is the gearbox steering. It's antiquated, sluggish. You have less reaction time than if you had rack and pinion steering, which is what the 03 and up models had. Nothing like cruising down the highway. I mean, technically I don't even have to have my hand on the steering wheel. The suspension, the steering setup, and everything on these cars are so soft, but I can literally steer this car with one finger. It is so soft. I can turn, I can make turning maneuvers. Look at this with one finger. I don't want people to think I'm a drunk driver, but yeah, it's great for cruising on the highway. Very effortless. You just kind of put your hand on the steering wheel, just kind of plop it, and just kind of, you know, steer like that. But when making maneuvers, it's not the type of steering. It is definitely not the desired steering configuration you want. Either way, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. These were the 7 with that little bonus with that horrible wheel tuck. Things that I hate about the Aero generation of Grand Marquis and Crown Victoria. Like I said earlier, these things are incredibly cheap. They're very plentiful. I literally got this from a grandmother who died and their family had no idea what to do with a car. I said, I will pick this thing up. I said, how many miles I think got? They said like 98,000. I said, I'll be there tomorrow. Let's go. Scooped it up. It's got a little bit of a power steering leak, some issues like everything you've seen in this video, but that is not a deal breaker, especially considering this is literally a modern Crown Vic. This was it. This is what started it. You change the fenders, you change the hood, you change the header panel, new headlights and bumper, and you can literally have it all slaps right on a more modern 2001 and up Crown Vic body will fit on that. But I'm not going to do that to this. I'm going to keep it the same classic look it has. But yeah, these things are very cheap. You can scoop it up for 1,500 bucks. An under 100,000 mile example, I got this right around $2,000. You can't go wrong with it, guys. If you want to get into the Panther game, if you want to get into the Panther platform, this is sure as hell seems to be the way to do it. Every other Crown Victoria has been clapped out. They're now in the 4,000s and the 5,000s. And if you ask me, those cars should never climb more than 3,500, maybe 45 if you're talking about an LX Sport or anything that's a little bit more rare and more desirable. But either way, it's your boy Mr. Random. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have an Aero model Panther car, or if you're considering buying one. Either way, man, I'll catch you guys on that exhaust modification video. About to wake this thing up and hear what that 4.6 sounds like under the hood. Catch you guys in the next one. And if you give us some revs, we'll go push out some of that more blown head gasket exhaust juice. We'll go push out some of my